Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about why romantic chemistry is a must. So the first thing that I want to get into is with this kind of like romantic chemistry, this kind of like fire that two people have between them that's, romantic. It's a case of it's either naturally there or it's not, right? And if it's not there, there's not really that much you can do. There are things that you can do to obviously make someone more interested in you, like for example, playing it cool a little bit. I recently made a video on how to win the dating game basically and why it's a game. So you can go and watch that video if you need a little bit of help with, understanding basically the mindset that you need to have in order to get someone to be a little bit more attracted to you and give them time for their attraction to grow for you. But usually if it's not naturally there, the relationship can be, it's very, very stilted and difficult and awkward. So what you need to kind of look for basically when you go into, the dating world and you start dating someone and you want someone with romantic chemistry, you're kind of looking for the person where it's like your best friends instantly. We all have like this. We've all had experiences, whether it was when we were at school or when we enter a new job. There's some people that you instantly click with, and there are other people that you don't instantly click with. And it's usually with the people that you instantly click with that you have the best friendships with. You may even make a new best friend from that. And that's the kind of thing that you need to be looking for when you go into the dating world. You need to be looking for someone who you actually naturally click with, just because it's just a lot easier. If it's awkward or if you don't really understand each other, then it can be a bit awkward and it's not really the best kind of date to be on, because you kind of it doesn't flow naturally basically. So you need to be looking out for that kind of thing when you go into the dating world. You need to be looking out for the people that you naturally click with. And also, it's important that you like the same things, you have the same kind of values, you want the same things in life. Because, usually one of the reasons why a lot of relationships fail is because most people get into a relationship with the wrong person to begin with. And they live two completely different lifestyles, they have nothing in common. And basically they was just living off the attraction that they had for each other, as opposed to any common interests and, wanting the same things. Because usually, when you get into a relationship, and it's one that you want to last a long time, you're looking for a companion. You're looking for someone who, if you're into monogamous relationships, you're looking for someone who you can spend your life with. And you need to have things in common, because most of the time you do everything together with your, spouse. So you need to be looking for someone who you'd want to spend a lot of time with, because that's essentially what's going to happen, right? You're going to spend a lot of time together. So you got to make sure that you agree on a lot of things. You're going to make sure that there are at least a few things that you both enjoy doing together. So, you can do things together on the weekends, because there's no point, if let's say this person really likes to go out hiking and doing adventure walks, but you're more of a city person and you'd rather hit the bars and the nightclubs, then, there's going to be conflict there. Or it could be the case that this person loves to go out, do the outdoors thing, but you prefer to, stay at home and you'd rather watch TV, or you'd rather, do something on your computer or something like that. Like, you need to find someone who likes to do the same kind of thing as you do. So how to know basically if there's romantic chemistry? So there's usually, it's kind of like meeting a new best friend. It's meeting someone who you instantly gel with, but obviously there is that underlying flirtatiousness, that there's a lot of flirting going on, right? And that's basically how you know. Like, if it's very flirtatious, and it's, you're humorous with each other, you have the same kind of humor, and you just get on really, really well, then that's what you're looking for. That's how you can tell what, romantic chemistry. You can have a laugh. You are on the same kind of wavelength, I guess you could say. And obviously there's the flirtatious thing, because that's the difference between meeting a new best friend and meeting someone who you have romantic chemistry with. The difference is the flirtatiousness and the sexual attraction. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that. You're looking for the sexual attraction, as well as that, the fact that you can have a laugh together, you like the same things, You're on the same wavelength, and it's like meeting a new best friend, but with the added benefit of it being romantic and sexual, right? So one of the biggest mistakes I see people do is they're trying to build a romantic thing with someone who they don't have chemistry with. That's the worst thing you could do. You could be because what you need to remember is you may come into contact with someone who you have a lot of romantic attraction for, and you find them really, really attractive, and you want to get to know them, and you want to make something happen with them, but they might not necessarily feel the same way about you. So you can't really try and force something with someone that there's just no romantic chemistry with, because the thing is that both of you have to feel that, both of you have to have that relationship with each other, both of you have to have that connection, right? That romantic connection. And if it's only one, there's nothing can be done about that. If that other person doesn't feel it, they just don't feel it. And that's kind of what you need to let go of. This is what happens when a lot of people get put in friend zone. They get put in friend zone because they have a huge romantic attraction for this person, but the other person doesn't feel it. And so they give them friendship and they say, look, I'm not interested. Let's just be friends, So, and then a lot of people, sometimes they feel like they can change it some down the line. They think, oh, if I become a good enough friend to them, then maybe they'll change their mind about me. If I spend a lot of time with them, if I talk to them a lot, if we build this bond, then maybe something will happen. But the thing is that what happens with these two people is the person that's more romantically interested develops a deeper romantic connection to this person who has friend-zoned them, whereas the person that's friend-zoned them is developing an even deeper friendship with the person that's romantically interested. So if this person who wants to make something happen with the person that's friend-zoned them, basically they're just deepening their connections, but it's not on what either person wants. They're developing a better friendship, and this person's developing deeper romantic feelings, and that's why it can end in disaster, and why a lot of people get heartbroken over being friend-zoned and falsely believing that they can change this person's mind. And it's mostly the case. It's not totally impossible, but it's mostly impossible to for that to kind of switch around. But it's like I said, it's not totally impossible. But what you kind of need to do is you need to think of yourself as not the rare case. A lot of people do think that like that. Sometimes we're overly optimistic about ourselves and our abilities. And don't assume that you're going to be the rare case. Assume actually that you're just the regular person that it's not going to work out with. Because otherwise you could end up in a situation where you're really, really heartbroken because you've invested so much time and energy into trying to change that friend into a girlfriend or a boyfriend. But that kind of stuff, like I said, rarely works out. And you have to assume that you're in the majority of cases and not in the minority of cases. And that can help with a lot of heartbreak. If someone doesn't want you, if someone just wants to be friends with you, then you have to assume that's the way that they're always going to feel about you. You have to assume that. You can't get too overly optimistic and overly confident about yourself and thinking that you can change them and change their feelings. Because most of the time, like let's say like 95% of cases, maybe 97, you're not going to change that person's mind. If they don't feel that romantic chemistry with you, there's nothing you can do. And, if someone has romantic chemistry for you, if you ask them out, they're going to say yes. If someone friend zones you, they don't feel like they don't want to be with you, basically. Because it makes sense, right? It makes logical sense. Like if you want to be with someone and they want to be with you, you're going to be together. If someone friend zones you, that's obviously the case of they're not interested, right? They're not into it. They don't want it. Because obviously if that person asked out you, you would jump at the chance to say yes. You would love to go out with them. You'd love to hang out with them in a romantic way. And if they don't feel the same way and don't jump at the chance to be with you and want to be romantic with you, then they're not interested. It just makes logical sense that if someone's into you, then something would happen, right? If you both felt the same way. So that's something else that you need to consider as well. You can't force romantic chemistry with someone where there's no romantic chemistry. You need to let go of those cases because we don't all feel the same way about each other. Obviously, it's amazing and it's brilliant when you find someone who feels the same way about you as you do about them. But most of the time, it's not really the case. Like most people that you come into contact with are probably not going to be that interested, which is fine because, there's a lot of people out there and you only need to find one if you're interested in having a monogamous relationship. You only need to find one person to settle down with. You only need to find one person who you have enough chemistry with, who you have enough shared common interests, shared values for it to work, Because because I don't personally believe in the one. I think there are many potential people that could be a right match for you that you could work with. Of course, there'll be the one person you spend the rest of your life with, but that person could be a multitude of different people. There's a lot of opportunities out there for you. There are a lot of good people out there. There are a lot of good people that could match what you want, and they want you as well. So, that's something else to consider as well. Obviously, that's just my personal belief about the one. You can have whatever belief you want, obviously. But I think there's a lot of different potential good, decent matches for you out there. So that's why romantic chemistry is a must. You must have romantic chemistry in a relationship. Otherwise, it's just going to be boring, awkward, stagnant, and it usually ends quite fast. Or it goes on for a long time and both people are miserable, and you just lose the soul of life, basically, if you're with someone who you don't have romantic chemistry with for a long time. It just takes the magic out of life, and especially the magic out of that relationship. So, don't fall in love too fast. Don't get overwhelmed by the way someone looks. You need to have that romantic chemistry as well. Because, love should be fun. Love should be... it doesn't have to be something serious and brooding. It can be something very lighthearted and enjoyable. And, we all need more reasons to enjoy our life. And the best way you can do that is to actually have a spouse, someone who you spend your life with, who you like to be around and it's fun to be around. You don't want to be with someone who it's not fun to be around them, because otherwise, you're spending apart from yourself, the spouse that you have is the most important person that you'll ever have in your life. Because even if you have kids, when those kids, grow up and leave, it's just going to be you two left. So you need to enjoy the person who you are with, and you need to have fun together and learn how to, have fun with each other and have a good time. Otherwise, it's just not going to be a very happy life, right? So, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.